Hello guys, welcome to this day 4 workshop of responsive website design. Yesterday we have left with the JavaScript because there was certain issue, or I can say the error. So there is a small story behind it. So let me tell you first what was it. So actually we got an error of the syntax, right? So for the code review, I gave that particular code which we are having an error, so I gave it to someone else, and this code was running off their machine. What That particular code or file was running on their device, but not on my device. So I asked them what was the issue, that my device that code was not running. So he replied, he replied, because sometime it happens with the code. Whenever you're coding, and whenever you're coding in any language, you might have certainly you will experience that the particular code, or at a particular time your code is not compiling, but it doesn't have any it although it doesn't have any error, or it doesn't have anything, but the code is completely fine, but it is not running in my machine. So what was the issue? The issue was, I can say, the nothing, but it resolved automatically. So sometime it happens with the device. So what we need to do is to just once shut down the device. This is the solution which I am telling you. If you are getting any error, so if and also if there is nothing wrong with the code, so you can do one thing. So after getting an error and it is not resolving, although the code is right, so what we can do is to just shut down the device once, whether you have a laptop or a PC. Just shut down this device once and recompile that code, and it will work. So sometimes it happens with the many devices. It doesn't work, or it shows an error. So sometimes it happens, but usually the code is compiled. So today we have the workshop of responsive website design, but we have left the JS project, our JavaScript project, which was the game. So today we don't have much time to cover all those two topics, the project as well as the responsive web design. So the quickly I will go through with the project. So what we're gonna make in this JavaScript project, and then we will move on to the responsive website design. So the first, we will create a JavaScript project, and along with that, I will tell you the basics of the JavaScript when we are deploying in with integrating it with our website. So I will move on to the my code editor and just open the file. This is my JavaScript file, and this is the dice game which we're gonna create. I have the pictures which I'm using in my game. So all the source code which I'm be coding right now. So I will be giving you this source code, and or I can say I will give you the doc file so that you can refer this code later on. Okay, so our file has been opened. So the first thing which I will be doing is just create a simple index.html file, and inside that, the first I will creating the boilerplate of HTML. Right now, right now we don't have much time to explain you whole JavaScript, like how we can integrate step by step the how JavaScript integrates with the HTML. So by the use of project, I will be explaining you that. So how we can make that. So the first, let me give you this title of Dice Game. Save this and open it in our browser. So this is the file which I created. So right now it is blank. Wait a minute here, like this. Okay. So right now it is blank, and it is showing the dice game here, as you can see. So we will be modifying it to make it better for the UI and as well as the backend type. And here backend I refers to the JavaScript file. So again, I will be creating another file which is called the CSS. So I will be typing the style.css, style.css, and enter. It is created. So the first thing I will be explaining you the HTML. So first I will be writing some HTML code, a div with having a p tag, which is written the dice game, and the class should be, let's say, a heading, because it is a heading of the dice. And save this, and now I will move on to my CSS file. So the first let's say what is here. Okay, so here's written the dice game. So the first I will give the body a color, click here. So the first I will give the body color here. So body color I will be giving a background color, which is has like say the hash, which is a hash code, FF9914D. So save this and see what is happening here. So it is not running. Why? Because we haven't linked our CSS file yet. So I will link it. So link and the file of name of the file, which is called the style.css. Now again I will refresh the browser, and now our color appeared. So I also wanted to change this dice as well. So how will I do that? So for that I will be writing with our heading. Not heading is referring to the class which I have given to the. Oh wait, I have deleted it. Okay, so this p tag is referring the div and this heading. So this dot heading is the dot is referring to the class, and the heading is the class name. So in this, the first I will give the the font size, so that it is a heading, so it should be bigger. So the font size should be, let's say, 100 pixel. Save this and see. Okay, let's see in the. Okay, this much is, I think, perfect. Okay, so this is the font size, and the font weight should be a bold because it is a heading, so it should be bold. Let's say a font weight and bold. Now refresh this. So okay, it is become a little bold, and let's give it a color, because the black is not looking good here. So the color is, let's say, give it a green. This and refresh. Okay, so now it is looking a little good. So now let's move on to the second section we have. Now we will be creating our player section. So we have two players here. Like you have tossed the coin, and you have two phases, head and tail, and only one wins. So here the same logic we will be applying here. So we will be having a two players. So the first I will be making a div, and it should have a class of players. I have created the players, and now I will be creating my first player. So by creating the first player, I'm giving the div. So let's say give it a class of like the player one, which is player one, and inside it, I will be giving the name of the player. So right now I don't have any name, so I will be just writing the player one. So simply I will be writing the player one. Okay, so and a little space in it, and after that the image should come. Image is referring to the dice here. So we are making the dice game. So our player one is throwing a dice. So it should have an image. One, two, three. What is the dice number? So we will show it through our images. So the source, let's say before the source, I want to give it ID, because we will be calling that. So the first I will be give the ID, and let's say the ID should be a picture one. So let's say a p dash one. Let's say a p dash one, and the source is the pic slash and 1D. So 1D jpeg is referring to this pics dot one. So it has yeah, this one. Okay, so I have saved all the images which I have, like the one, two, three, four, 5, and 6. So this is the dice phase, the six phases of dice, 1 to 6. So all this I will be using in my website. Okay, let's just okay now. I'll, so now I have the player one with the image, and again I also need to give it a ID that we want to change it as well. If player one win, then it should be written as player one wins. So the player one ID, let's say give it let's say give it a P1 so that we can recognize it by its name itself. Because ID P1 it means a player one, and images P-1 it means a player picture of player one. So as you can see here, although I have given the P1 tag here, but there's a slight difference with the dash because we can't give a same ID with this. We can't give the same name with having a two IDs. Okay, so we need to define the different ID names. So I will be saving this. So now I have the heading and the player one section. So let's save this, and as you can see here it is coming. So I need to rearrange this whole big image because it is looking bizarre right now. And although it should be on the center as well. So I will be just making it more clear. So by this, I will be typing a text line and center. And as soon as I click save and center, and then these are on the center. So now I will be making player one modify. So for that, I will be just typing a P player. First of all, the players I have, because the players is comes first because it is on this div. Let me just give it a space and do this. And after this, now we can clearly see we have the players div, and inside this player div, I will be having up this player one, and I will copy this, and again I will paste it as well. But in the second we have the player two, so I will be writing. I will just change from player one to two. That's it. From player one to here, and from P dash two to P dash two, and here let's change it as well. Okay, so now if I save this, refresh this again, and say this. Okay, so now I have player one as well, player one and player two, both are here. So now I will be changing them. So in dot players, I wo- what I will do. So first of all, I will just give up width because as I can see here, it is looking of one by one, player one and player two beneath it. So I want this here. It should come player one, and on the other side, like on the left side, it should show the player one, and on the right side, it should show the player two. So for making that, I will be typing first a width so that we can confine the first width. What should be the proper width of that particular div? So I have the width. After the width, let's say I was also having the color, and let's say the red. And after red, I, so after taking the red, let's say what is happening here. We refresh this. Okay, so now I know inside this D tag, I have the width of 600 pixels and the background is red. So now I will give the margin here. Margin, let's take a margin of let's say 100 minus 100 pixels because we I want a little shifting here, and auto 0 and auto. Save this, and now I will work on the player one dot player one. Now inside this player one, I will be typing a float left because I want this player one on the left side. If I go here, I want this player one on the left side and this player two on the right side. Right now they are coming beneath it, but as I apply the float, it will be on the side by side, like the player one on the left side and player two on the right side. So I will be typing here float left and enter. After that, I will be giving them a color which is, let's say, a white. After that, the font size should be font size should be, let's say, 20 pixel, and the width, taken a width of here 600. Okay, so here's 600. So I will be taking here a 300 pixel. I have written the 300 here because the total width of the box is 600, and I want these two boxes to be aligned on the center but on the sideways. So this will take the 300, and another this one will take 300. So before saving the file and run it again, let me just create another player 2. So this is our player 2. And again I will be typing the float, because this time I want this player 2 to be shifted on right side. So I will type right, and again I want the color is white. Color is white. Now I want again the font size should be a 20 pixel. Let's say 20 pixel. Okay. And again I want the width of this like a particular element of 300. Now I will be saving this, and as soon as I refresh this, so now you can see both of the players are on align. Like the player one is here and player two is here, but our image are not aligned here. They are overlapping each other. The player one has the dice number one, and the player two has the dice number two, or which is or we can also say that the image two, because we have the six images. Okay, so we need to align them as well. So now I will make the changes in the images. So I have written the image tag here. Uh, so as you can see in the index, oh, I wrote the index, not index. Okay, I will change it later, but it will work. It will work because we don't need to change the name. It should be same as extension. So we have the correct extension.html. So so we have this image tag, and in style I'm giving them a certain attribute. Let's say I'm giving a width of 150 pixels. 150 pixels. Why I'm giving this 150 pixels? Because the total box length is 600. I gave this player to be a 300, and inside this I'm making the half of it. So half of 300 is 150, so I'm giving this a width of 150. And let's save this and see this. Okay, so now both are in same position. Player 1 is moving on the left side and the player 2 is on the right side. So now our game is looking a little bit closer, but still we have a lot to make. So the image is like we can see here this is a white mark here. So if you want to remove this, we also have the border property. We can write a border, let's say a 10 pixel give, control S, save, and then refresh. So now our border has gone and the uh, white you can say the space has gone. So now what I need to make is a button. So how can I make the button? For that we need to define a button. So I will be typing button. The button should be written a click me. Let's save this and see what will happening. What is happening? Okay, so here's our button, and let's give it a ID. ID should, let's say its ID should be uh, a button. Let's say save this, or let's say a J button. J button is for the junior button. I just randomly named it. So button has been created. Now we will work on button. So how our button should look like? So I will give the title button, and then after this, I want a width of let's say a 350 pixel and height here. I want the height of this button of 800 pixels, and then refresh this. So let me see. This button is like more bigger. So let's just make it smaller. I gave it 250 and then refresh this. Okay, so now it is a little good. So the next I will give it a border radius. So border radius I will be giving let's say 100 pixel. Fresh. Okay, so it is looking nice here. So after border I will be giving a border, which should be a border should be a solid, and it should be a color. So let's say I will be typing a border itself. Border should be of let's say a 1 pixel solid, the color which I gave the whole body, which is a ff914.d. Save this and then refresh. So now as we can see here we have only the button appearing, not the border. And again I will be typing margin. So why we need margin? Because as I can see here I need some margin from the player 1 and player 2 with respect to this button because it is more touching towards these players. So I need to make some margin from it. So I will be typing the margin from top because I only need margin from the top. Let's say I want the margin 150 pixel, and come here, save this. So now it is going out of the flow because it is scrollable now. As you can see here, it is scrollable, and we don't want that. We just wanted a one pager. So I just need some, let's say, 100 pixel, and again just come here and refresh it. Okay, so now it is a one pager, and user can click on it. So after that, after giving the margin, I will give the font size. The font size should be, let's say, a 40 pixel. So let's save and refresh. So it is a little bigger. Let's make it 30 and refresh. So okay, now it is good. So after the font size, it is a little light. So I will be giving it a font weight, and which is a bold. So after writing bold, it will become bold. And the background, this is its background is white. So the button background, let's add a button background and give it a green. It's the same as we have given to our headline. So if I save this, so now it is green and click me. And I need to change its color from black to white because white is more eye catching. Refresh this. Okay, so now as we can see, our little UI is ready. Our dice game, our player one is ready, player two is also ready. Click me here. Okay, so now our file has been ready. So HTML and CSS work has been done now. So now we need to work on our JS file. So let me just create a file of JS, which is named as called index.js. And I hope today it will work because time happens. So let's say I'm giving a function name. So the memory refresh, I have created a function in the JavaScript with the name of message. Message is like MSG, which is a reference to the message. So I will be creating a variable here, which is a random number, because right now the user is not typing anything. We want just random number from the website. So for that we have something. First I will type the random number, let's say a player one, random number of player one. And here we have a function that is called a math function. Math, we have a math dot floor, and with math dot floor we will be applying math dot random. So by applying this math dot floor, and inside this math dot floor we will be applying math dot random. So math, yes, dot random, and it should be from 1 to 6. So we need till 6. So after that I will be plus 1 and then semicolon. So now I will explain you what is happening in this code. So I have created a variable which is called a number, random number 1. And in this random number 1, in with respect to this, I am creating a random number from 0 to 1. It is math.random function is creating a random number from 0 to 1, like 0. 0.6, 0. 0.7, 0.4.8, 0.4.9, 0.6.8. It is creating a random number from 0 to 1. And what I'm doing here is to just multiplying that particular number from 6, so that the number would be between 0 to 6. Okay. The number would be between, sorry, not 0 to 6, it would be between 0 to 5. Okay, so 0 to 5, but we want to start it from 1 to 6. So what I can do here, I just need a plus 1 here. Okay, so if it gets 0, then just plus 1 it and it will become 1. And if we got the highest number, which is 5, then it will become 5. It will become 6. So we are creating a random number from this function. So we will be creating another random number for the player 2 as well. So just writing a player 2, and let's just copy this because the function would be the same. Okay, so we have created two variables with this function name. So now we need some conditions which we have learned yesterday in JavaScript. So the condition which we are using, which we will be using in today's game, would be a if else statement. So if I write if, so if player one number is greater than player two number, then it should show the player one is winner. Okay, so I will be typing it's random number one should be a greater than random number two, which is a random two. So right now, we are in the condition of player one has bigger value. So now I want these values. So I will be taking these values in the variable a. So I'll be typing random number one, and in it I will be typing b, which is a random number b. Okay. So now I have the random number one and random number two, which has a player number one and player number two with a and b. Okay, so now we will be making a document dot get element by ID. So it is referring in the document get the element by its ID. So what was the ID of the player one? Our ID of player one was this P1. Because first we don't want to change this tag. We will change this tag as well, but first we will change the image of the player one, so that user can see what is the like who is getting the larger number. So for that we need to make changes in this image file. So its image id is p-1. So I will be writing p-1, and source stand for, if it is having some source, then just type src. Source stand for, you can say not the src, we have the pig folder, and then plus a plus, where it is, let's see, let me see. So the p tag we have this much and this much. Okay, let me just make it a little here. Okay, so now I can see here this is a 1D, 2D, 3D, and 4D. So the number which I will be getting is the 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to write the D as well. So I need to write D dot JPG. I have written this. The same I will be writing for another one, the player 2. A 2, and this should be a B. So let me just check it. Document, we have document.getElement by ID with the source of this and pick plus one. It should be a slash as well, because we are moving from one folder to another. So we need to apply this slash. So okay, so we have done this. And now we will be changing the text of the player one. So for that we need to write again document. We will call again the document.getElement by ID. And in this, what is the ID of the player one? The player one ID, yes, here the player one ID is this P1. This ID is P1. So I will be writing here this P1. And after this P1, I want to change this its inner HTML. So I will be writing this inner HTML should be equal to what? Be equal to player one, and in the brackets the winner, because in this the player one has the bigger value than player two, so he's the winner. And now in the player two I will be writing again document dot get element by id again, this and then p2 here, and just changing the inner dot html, and the text should be the same as it was written, so it should be like player 2 and then semicolon. And after changing these images, we have changed the player text, images. At the end, I want also give to alert the player, so that he can click on the user that yes, this is the player who won. Okay, so I will be typing player one. Let's say winner winner is player one. Winner is player one. and P. After that, I will be applying else if, because we also have some conditions. If player 1 has the number greater than player 2, then he's the winner. But if player 2 has the number, who has the like the player 2 has greater number than player 1, then he's the winner, or he or she is the winner. So I will be typing the same condition, because only the player 1 and player 2 places are changing, although both are same here. So just I will change this 2 from this one, because this time player 2 is winner. So the code would be all the same, because the logic here is same. So I will just copy this code and just paste it here. But here is some change, because we, so now player 2 is winner. So I will be changing this from 2 and this from 1. And now the winner is player 2. So player 2 is winner. So the changing in the images would be the same, because also we want to update the images whether they are winner or not. We just want to change, update the images. Okay. So there is a fun. There is a another condition also. What if both got the same number? What if both got the three numbers? Like player one also got the two number and player one also got the two number. So there is also there is also one condition we should be remembering. So we will be tapping for this else. So for else, we just need to type that yes, this match has been drawn. So this V, it would be the same. So uh, I also wanted to update the images, so I will just copy and paste it. In images would be same, but here what I will be typing, uh, no one is winner. So I will be typing here a draw match. The match has been drawn. The player one as well. I will type draw, and here also draw. And in alert, and then alert the match. Let's say the match has been draw. Till now, we have created our HTML file with all the looks, CSS to garnish it, and index and the JavaScript to make it on sensible node. So let's go on our website and just refresh it. And as soon as I click on this, it will work. So now it is not working. Let me see what is the issue. So, okay. So here. So as you can see here, I haven't calling it. I have right now I'm not calling on the button. So I need to type click function on click. By clicking on this function, I want to run this message function. So I will be typing on click, just run msg, and then this. So on after clicking on this function, this button will be calling this message function, and this message function will run this function. Okay. So now I will get back to my website, which is a game, and I reload it, and I will click on this again. It is not happening. Let's see other errors. Okay. So we have a function. Yes. Okay, so the error is we haven't linked this index.js file in our in our head section. So I will be linking that to type. Let's say it is a text file, and as well as it is a JavaScript file. And again, the name of the file, it is index.js. So I will save this, and again I will just go to the browser, refresh this, and I click on this again. Let's say again what I haven't done. We have the scripts types. Let's go on the console. Let's see there is any error or not. Okay, so here's the error, uncaught error. P is not defined at message and at HTML button on click this. Okay, so let me see where it is. Okay, so P dash one is not defined. It's saying that. Okay. We have made an error here. It should be in the double quotes. It should be in the quotes. So P dash one, this should be P dash two. And again, the same mistake is here. P should be on the quotes P dash one, and again it should be on the P dash two, or in the quotes P dash two. Now on the third section, which we have, which is the last section, P dash one, again we have P dash two. Okay, save this file. Now hopefully it should run now. Let's just and again. Okay, so no error is coming now. So again I'm refreshing this, and let's check if any error is occurring. Okay, so now we don't have any error, browsing error. So let's just click on this. So now it is working. So as soon as I clicking this, click me, winner is two, winner is player two. So now we are getting the player one has smaller value and player two has larger value. So this player two should be bigger. So as soon as I click OK, so now you can see the four. uh, Player 2. Okay, so I made a little minor mistake here. I just copy paste the like the all the content, so it is making an error here. So P1 should be here, P1, and it should be the P2. It should be P2. And now we have this is I have written player 1, but here I'm writing player 2, so it should be player 1 as well, player 2, and from here it should win. So now player 1 is winner, player 2 is winner, and it should not winner. Same with this. Okay, so this is correct now. So refresh this and click me. So player one is winner. So how? So why player one is winner? So click this. So player one is winner. Why? Because it has six and it has three. Again, I'm clicking. So now player two is winner. So how this is player two is winner? Because this is five and this is two. So this is a little dice game by which you can say I resolve your issue if you want to toss anything, if you want to make a decision, so that you can make it easier. So any questions about this dice game, or how I use this JavaScript file, or how I use the function document method? Any questions about this? Okay, so what I will be doing here, all the source code, all the pictures of these images and files will be on the drive. So I will be giving you the link so that you can download it from here, and you can take a reference for it. So now uh, we have like a very shortage of time, but we will cover our responsive web design as well. So let's move on our Flexbox design. So today we will be learning about the responsive website design. So what is this responsive website design? So it stands for as I said, RWD, the short form. We call it RWD, and it stands for responsive web design. And like the system which we use for this is Flexbox, Grid, and Media Queries. But in this, since we have a very limited time, because we have I have explained this dice game for you, so we don't explain here the grid, but I will definitely cover the Flexbox and the media query, because these both are the most essential for the responsive website design. Grid is not that essential, so I will be skipping it. But Flexbox and media queries, I will explain you that. So, so the first question is, what is responsive design? So responsive design is used for the mobile friendly view, because of all the website which we are browsing right now which we are making right now is only made for the desktop. So if I go here, and I'm just making it smaller. So now you can see there is a scroll bar here. Let me zoom in. Okay, so there is a scroll bar here. So it means it is not mobile friendly. So I need to make it mobile friendly as well so that user could have a good experience. So I need to resolve it. So there should be anything so that I can resolve. So here comes the Flexbox and the media queries. So let's jump on to the responsive website design. So first I will be opening the responsive folder. From the workshop, we have this folder and then select this. So now I will be creating a simple file, again the HTML file, and this responsive design also it's same as the CSS, but it has a different terminologies of the CSS. It has a flexbox and the media queries. So the first I will be defining the HTML file. It is created. Again, the simple and just click on this and just typing RWD, which is a responsive website design. And let's create a div, a simple div, and with a class of, let's say, a box, or let's say a big box, because inside this boxes I will be giving you all the 6 or 5 boxes. So let's say a big box, and inside this I have this this div, and of the class, which is, let's say, a box, and repeating it for the five times, and just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now saving this and just creating another CSS file called style.css. Style.css. Okay, so now we will be working on the Flexbox. So what Flexbox is, how we can use this. Okay, so first I will be making sure that it is linked with the our HTML file. So first I will check it with by giving the width of, let's say 130 pixels, and also the height of 130 pixels, and the background for it, so that we can see is it really appearing or not. And don't forget to give it a link for our CSS file, which is a style.css, and save this. And I will go here, the workshop, this, and here I have created this index.html file. Okay, so it has been created. Okay, good. So now our CSS file has been linked to our HTML file. So now I will be explaining you how it works. So first of all, let's just clear this. Okay, so the div dot big box. Yeah. So inside, so I'm referring this to this. We have this div. We have this big container. Inside that container, we have small container which has a box one, big box two, box three, and so on. So in this box, I will be giving a property or a attribute which is called a display flex. So display flex. Before giving display flex, let me just give like creating another classes for boxes so that we can get the idea. Box 100, it's 130 pixels, and a height of 130 pixels. Okay, and the background color should be, let's say, a green. Copy pasting it, and this, this, this. Because we have 5 boxes, so just change this to 2 and change this color to red. Okay, and change this color to yellow, and this as well. We need a 3. This is for box 4. Now just observe. I will be explaining you why I'm doing these why I'm creating these 5 boxes, and why we need these 5 of boxes to get the knowledge of Flexbox. So the box I'll this is blue, and the last one let's give it a orange. Red spelling orange. So save this and refresh this. So okay, so now we have four boxes. Why four? I have typed the five. One. Okay, so last one should be five. Box five. So control save and then refresh. Okay, so now we have the five boxes here. And let's say I haven't applied the flex box here. So as soon as I save this, right now I haven't applied any flex box property. I just applied the simple CSS and then refresh it. So right now they are just appealing from the top to bottom. But as soon as I apply this flex direction, it is making the content in the proper line, in the proper format, I can say. So this is how from the start the flexbox property starting making its effect. So after that, I have a property of flex direction. Flex direction is refers to where your content is flowing. So by default, it is at row. So if I refresh this, nothing will appear because by default we have flex direction is row. So it will not change if we are again making it row. So it will change when we will make it column. So if I refresh this, save this, and refresh this. So now it is making in the column. Okay, and it has one more property. It is called reverse. So if I type row again, so save this and refresh. Right now the green is on left side. Just observe this. This green is on left side, and as soon as I just applied reverse, save this and just refresh this file. So now the green file is on the right side. So it is making row with reverse. So this is how the property works. So this is the same as the column. If I write column, reverse, and then refresh, okay, so this green should show on the top, but we have applied this reverse. So it is counting from the bottom. So that's how the flex direction work. So we have another property for the flex. We have it's like the flex itself. So let's say let's remove this. Let's say and then just refresh it so that we can see. Okay, so we have this, and I am giving this flex property. Let's say a 2. Save this and refresh. Now see. Okay, so okay, here is one problem. I need to give it as well. Flex or not a float. It is a 1. Just copy pasting this. And from here, this flex 1, flex 1, and flex 1. Save this and refresh it. Okay, so now as you can see, as soon as I apply this flex 2 on the box 1, which has a value green, I have applied flex 2. So what it is doing, it is making the 2 times. It means we need the content of this flex 2 times of remaining. And we have defined here, this is the one flex box and this is the two flex box. It means it should be the 2 times of this box. This is a 1, this is 2. It should be the 2 times of this flex box. So it is the 2 time of these red blacks, red, yellow, blue, orange. So as you will observe, this is the 2 time of these boxes. So that's how this flex work. You can also write 3. So if I write 3, save this file and refresh. So now it is 3 times and it became smaller. So that's how these responsive design work. So you will observe as soon as I just short the window, the scroll bar is not coming because we are working on the responsive design. It should work on mobile as well without scrolling. So this is the proper responsive. This is only for the responsiveness for the website. So as soon as I just cover this, it expand, and in the mobile view, it is shrinking. So, but it is not making it to the scroll bar. So it is avoiding to make scroll bar by shrinking its content. Okay, so for that we have flex. And another property we have, let's just first comment it out. Uh, this and this flex box, this and this, and the last one is this flexbox. Okay, so now we have another property of flexbox, which is called a justify content. Now let me just save this and let's just see by default how it is looking. Refresh. So now by default it is looking this. Okay. So as soon as I apply this justify content, and the first is center. Give this and just make it bigger and then refresh. So now all the content is at the center. Also, they are responsive. So if I see on the mobile view, they will come on the center with the limited heights of all the content. So this is how center works. We have also another attribute which is called a flex end. So flex end, if I save this and just again open this and refresh, okay. So this is coming from the end. So if I remove this uh, here, okay. So just observe if I'm giving the give it start. So this is and refreshing it. So now you can see from the start, it is by default it set to flex start, but you can change it by making it flex end. If this I have saved this flex end and then refresh. Now it is starting from end. Okay, so that's how you can change you can change its position. Also, if we want to make a certain gap between these contents, so another property we have for it, it is called a space around. It means we need some space around these boxes. So refresh this. So we have these spaces. The property which I have given is space around. You can see here justify content space around. So it is making a little space between these content. And now if you observe here, this is the double of this. Like in the green, if you observe on the left side, we have, let's say, a width, and then we have from green to red, we have 2b. If here is the a length, then here is 2a, because half length of green and half length of red combining into becoming a two times length. Okay, so that's how this space around works. Also, we have the space between. So this space between, what it does is to evenly spread these contents. So now these contents are evenly spread on the web page. Also, they are responsive as well. So as soon as I just do this, these are also responsive because the scroll bar is not coming. So this would be a responsive. So the next property we have is called, let's say, e dash. We have space evenly. Save this and refresh. So now space evenly means we need the space evenly from all the contents. Now you will observe this and this width also same, because we want even space from all of the content. So that's why justify content, it means, and space evenly, it means we need space evenly from all around of the content. So that's how the flexbox works. So now you know about the flex direction, just how you can make the content from the right to left and left to right, how you can reverse the content, and how you can change the content from bottom to top. Like we have the flex start, flex end, and also we have the column row. So now we will be working on media queries. We have these media queries as well. So we have learned about how flexbox works. Now we will learn about how media queries works. So now we will get back to our code editor. And here, okay, so now we will be learning about how media query works. So let's suppose as in the desktop view, it is coming horizontally, and in the mobile view, I want these like the boxes vertically, uh, on the plane I. Okay, right now they are on the horizontal, but as soon as I decrease it and see on the mobile view, it should be vertically. So to do that, we have the media queries. Let's just at the rate media queries, and we need to apply it a certain condition. It's called let's say a minimum width. min width apply here, and min width, let's say 700 pixels, let's say 700 pixels. And after that we will write our code. So what it means, we have a media query minimum width. So it means minimum width, uh, we should have the minimum width of 700 pixel. If the browser, if a window have a certain length and it is not exceeding 700 pixel, then show this then apply this property as well. Okay, so now I will be going above because I want this content to be show from horizontal to vertical. So I just need to call this div.bigbox, and I need to apply this column property. That's it. Okay. So I will just applying this big div dot big box, and inside this I just need to apply one property which is called a flex direction, because I just wanted to change the flex direction right now, but you can write anything you want to change in this code. Okay, so I will be typing just simply column, and then just refresh this and refresh this page as well. Okay, so it why it is showing like this, let me just okay, I have changed it above, so let me just make it row, because by default it is making it a column. So let's say a row. Just refresh this. Okay, so now we have row and the column. Now it is reverse. Okay, so now I want to change this from the column. I want above to column, and here to row, and save this file, and then refresh this. Okay, so now I have the column, and as soon as I'm just opening the inspect panel so that we can see it more clearly, that how this is changing. This should be a one, not this 50 pixel, let's say. Not responsive. We just refresh this. Okay, I need to make it more smaller. Okay, so let's just make it 1040. Okay, but okay, so it is not like the sizing problem here. So let's just do it like this. What I applied here in the media query, minimum width should be 700 pixel. The minimum height should be 700 pixel, and if above this 700 pixel, don't apply this. If the user has, if the window has minimum width of this 700 pixel or lesser, then do this. If the window has greater than 700 pixel, then don't don't run this. Okay, so I will again open this window, and as soon as I just cross the 700, so here, so here I'm crossing the 700. This is above 700, and this is the below 700. So as soon as we close the window under, or you can say a lesser than 700 pixels, so it is showing this, it is affecting that particular code which is written on the media query. So I can also do one thing. Let's say after after like 700 pixel, minimum width of 700 pixel, I want to change this box color, so I can do that as well. So I just need to just take just copy this, just copy this tag, and again write this. We don't want to change this, so we don't need to write it as well. I just want to change it from, let's say, a blue violet. Okay, I save this, and now now just observe here. So now it is a blue, and as soon as I just click on this, so it is green. Okay, so the media query is applying here. So with the use of media query, you can do many things. You can manipulate the code, you can change the code, or you can make it as user friendly as you want. So any questions about the responsive web design? Because we have covered a lot here. We have covered the Flexbox property, media queries. We have also covered the JavaScript game, how it works, how the document structure work, how the logic behind the JavaScript we integrate with the websites. So any questions about these things? Any questions about
No.
responsive website design or anything? Okay, so thank you so much for joining. So I'm giving you a link right now. I will give you the link for the doc file where the all the source code of this game which we have created in JavaScript will be on that, so that you can see it, and also you can play it as well, and you can change it any like according to you. If you want to change anything, if you want to make several, you want to modify that game as well, so you can do that as well. So I will be giving the link doc link in the WhatsApp group. So if you have any question, you can ask now, or you can ask me personally on the WhatsApp. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining, and we will meet you tomorrow, which has a Bootstrap. So tomorrow we will be making our blogging website, our first blogging website with the use of Bootstrap. So today we have created the game, a dice game with the use of JavaScript, and tomorrow we will be creating our own blogging websites. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see you tomorrow.